So self-inquiry is central to non-dual teachings. And that goes back to usually in the way that is presented in Western non-dual teachings to Ramana Maharshi and his question, who am I, that he suggested for self-inquiry. And, you know, in my own practice and also in mentoring and guiding people, I found that actually in the West, this is not the best question to use for inquiry. And that may be different in the Eastern, Asian traditions, I really don't know. But in the West, where there's so much obsession about our personal identity, who we are in the world, are we okay, are we not okay? There's so much turning around this idea of who we are, that all this obsessive self-concern, obsessive to some degree or more or less, but there is a certain amount of obsession in that. It comes to be projected onto this question, who am I? Because that question is supposed to liberate you from all this obsession. But actually, in asking it, in inquiry, it's like that all that baggage that's very personal and very mental and emotional comes to stand in the way of the question really guiding you. It's not to say that it can't guide you, because it's a powerful question. But in my experience, a question that's much more direct and comes with a lot less baggage is, what is here? What is here? And that question is a much more open question. It's not about me and who I am. It just allows you to open to what is here at various levels. There may be thoughts, there may be emotions, there may be physical sensations. And there's also this reality that is vast, and that is what we're looking for. And that is also us. But when we're looking for that, it's best not to make it a personal thing about who am I. It's much easier to simply open your awareness from the usual narrow focus that's there into something much less focused, ultimately totally unfocused, totally spacious. And that is a, like that you start tasting the awareness, the spaciousness of that awareness, that you are. It's simply like an opening to what is. And what is this ability to receive everything just as it is. To allow everything to be part of what you're aware of. And then ultimately you can, take into this open awareness also the very quality of that awareness itself. Like in this moment, you're aware of sound, me speaking, you're aware of and seeing me. If you're looking at your screen, you may be aware of the others on the screen. You may be aware of surrounding noises and, things you see around you other than the screen. So that's awareness at different levels, sensory levels. You may be aware of how you're feeling emotionally. There may be a positive tone or neutral tone to it, or there may be something very specific. Or it may also be, something what we call more negative. Who knows? You can become aware of that. You can become aware of your thoughts. If there are thoughts going through your mind, questions you have, reactions you have to what I'm saying. You can be aware of how you feel energetically, relaxed, tense, vital and thriving, or tired, not so vital. And then in this very moment, you can also become aware of this ability that is there to be aware. It's not at all personal, but it is what makes everything possible, and from which everything else arises. Sense perceptions, thoughts, feelings, emotions. So just in this moment to spend a moment kind of letting go of all the objects, of your awareness, and just turning your awareness back to itself. And noticing the quality of that awareness. And if you're more of a heart person, and your perception is more one of the heart that includes everything, you can turn your attention back onto the essential, open, receptive quality of the heart. So what is here includes this ability to be aware. This open, spacious quality. Open, spacious being that you are. And that is who you are. Not in a personal way, but in essence.